Hey everyone, welcome back to Rocky Watches Movies. Today we're travelling back to the mid-90s to revisit the legendary fantasy series Xena Warrior Princess. Bursting onto the screens in 1995, this spin-off of Hercules, The Legendary Journeys, quickly carved out its own epic legacy, with action-packed battles, mythological adventures, and of course Lucy Lawless, bringing Xena to life as one of television's most iconic heroines. But behind all the chakrams, war cries, and unforgettable adventures, there are loads of fascinating behind-the-scenes stories that even the biggest fans might not know. So sharpen your swords, don your armour, and join me as we uncover 20 things you never knew about Xena Warrior Princess. Lawless had already appeared with Hercules, playing two different roles before becoming Xena. Lycia in Hercules and the Amazon Women, and Lila in Hercules, The Legendary Journeys. British actress Vanessa Angel, best known for starring in the television adaptation of Weird Science, was originally hired to play Xena, but she fell ill before she could travel to the set. After some debate about whether to adhere to their original vision of a blonde Amazon, executive producer Rob Tapert chose Lucy Lawless, who dyed her hair black. Xena was first introduced in Hercules to fulfill Robert Tapert's desire for a dark, tragic figure who would serve as a counterbalance to the cheerful and entirely untroubled Hercules. At the end of a 3-episode arc, the character was originally intended to die. However, Tapert and his fellow producers were so impressed by her that the already planned Hercules spin-off series was reworked to centre on Xena instead. Barely a year into her role as Xena, Lucy Lawless suffered a serious accident while filming a segment for The Tonight Show with Jay Leno. She fell from a horse and fractured her pelvis in several places. With the second season already underway, producers were forced to find creative ways to continue filming, while their lead actress recovered. They turned to a body switch storyline with recurring characters Callisto and Autolycus temporarily inhabited by Xena's spirit. Although the injury was severe and Lawless even had to learn to walk again, it did have one unexpected benefit. The media coverage significantly boosted her profile in the US, bringing the series greater attention, much to Hercules' dismay. Xena's timeline was delightfully anachronistic, freely blending Greek mythology with a variety of cultures and religions. In 1999, however, the show caused controversy when it explored Indian beliefs in the episode The Way. Hindus were displeased with the depiction of Krishna being summoned to help Xena rescue her companion and possible love interest, Gabrielle. They lodged protests with Universal, the show's syndicator, demanding the episode be taken off the air. Universal agreed, but this sparked a counter-protest from Xena fans who objected to the censorship. In the end, the episode returned in a slightly altered form. It had a disclaimer at the beginning and a public service announcement with the end credits, featuring Lawless, O'Connor, and a spokesman for the Hindu community, explaining that the producers took liberties with the Hindu religion. Long before Marvel Studios popularized the idea of staying through the end credits, Xena's producers began slipping in light-hearted jokes for the fans. Liz Friedman, an executive at Renaissance, came up with the idea after watching Hercules footage and wishing she could note that no centaurs had been harmed. She realized there was nothing stopping them from doing so. Soon, Xena was reassuring viewers that any winged harpies appearing on screen had been treated with the utmost respect. Kevin Sorbo, who played Hercules, was not entirely pleased with the direction Renaissance Pictures chose to take with Xena. When the series began to outshine Hercules in the ratings, he felt it was a mistake to present the heroine as his character's physical equal. He remarked that he never understood why Tapert had made her more powerful than Hercules, pointing out that Hercules was meant to be the strongest man in the world, and a half-god, whereas Xena had also been given the role of a doctor and many other abilities. He admitted finding it all rather strange. Sorbo's frequent complaints became so well known that crew members on the set of Hercules would jokingly spit whenever the name Xena was mentioned. For a series so focused on female empowerment, surprisingly few women were given the chance to direct. Of the show's roughly 100 episodes, only 5 were helmed by women, 2 of them by Renee O'Connor. Co-executive producer Eric Grundenman said that the shortage was due to a lack of qualified candidates, experienced in both action and visual effects. He explained that while they regretted the imbalance, they could not be blamed, as they had made genuine efforts to hire women. Xena's immense popularity soon extended to gay and lesbian audiences who appreciated the subtle romantic tension between the titular character and her companion Gabrielle. Executives at Universal, however, were less enthusiastic. They warned Rob Tapert that any explicit depiction of their relationship might spark a brief surge of interest, followed by a sharp decline, and they prohibited any overt references. As a result, the nature of Xena and Gabrielle's relationship was never explicitly defined. Corporate red tape prevented Wonder Woman and Xena from meeting on screen, but they came close when DC struck a deal with Dark Horse Comics, publishers of Xena's illustrated adventures, to create a crossover. Writer Bo Smith revealed that the project had been written and partially illustrated, before DC decided that Xena's cancellation in 2001 would have reduced interest. The crossover was ultimately abandoned, though Lawless later provided the voice of Wonder Woman in a 2008 animated Justice League film. Poseidon, the towering ruler of the seas, appeared briefly in the show's opening credits. Viewers were left wondering when he might actually appear, but so many fans clamoured for a proper storyline for Poseidon that he was eventually written into 2 episodes of the second season. When casting Xena's travelling companion and potential life partner, Gabrielle, Renee O'Connor was not initially the producer's first choice. The role was originally offered to Sunny Duench, if you say it like that, who reportedly declined because she did not want to leave her boyfriend in the US to film in New Zealand, clearing the way for O'Connor. Like Lawless before her, O'Connor had already made an appearance on Hercules in a different role. When Lucy Lawless became pregnant with her second child during the 5th season, the show's producers chose to embrace the life-changing event rather than work around it, incorporating her pregnancy into the storyline itself. Thus, the character of Eve, Xena's daughter, was introduced, adding both emotional depth and fresh narrative possibilities to the show. As fans are aware, Ares, the god of war, harboured an attraction to Xena throughout the series, with the 2 characters constantly shifting between enemies and love interests. Their relationship nearly took an even stranger turn, as rumours suggest that the Season 3 episode, The Furies, was originally intended to reveal that he was also her father. Xena's weapon of choice, the chakram, is based on a genuine weapon that dates back to around 5th century BC India. Warriors would carry as many as 7 steel or brass rings on their arms, spinning each around their index finger before hurling it at their enemy with a swift flick of the wrist. Composer Joe LaDuca created the show's theme music as an adaptation of the Bulgarian folk song Kaval Sviri. The chanting, performed by the Bulgarian State Television Female Vocal Choir, was translated into Bulgarian from LaDuca's own lyrics, which described a woman riding alone, her past nearly crushing her as she faced the armies of the dark world, battled in the name of good, heralded by the sound of horns, with drums beating in rhythm to announce the princess's arrival. Although the show was filmed in New Zealand and featured a wealth of local talent, the production was aimed at American and international audiences, so the producers requested that everyone adopt a similar accent. The one they ultimately chose was Southern Californian. While Xena survived her initial appearance in Hercules, she was not so fortunate by the time the show concluded in 2001. The character's heart-rending death in the series finale remains a source of regret for Lawless. She has said that it was a significant regret on her part as they had not fully understood its impact on fans, adding that they had initially thought it was a strong ending. She now tells fans to simply pretend it never happened. In 2015, NBC revealed plans to reboot the series, with one of the Lost writers set to lead the project. However, he departed in 2017 due to what he described as insurmountable creative differences. Later that year, NBC confirmed that the reboot was officially cancelled. Although talk of a feature film occasionally surfaced in the years following the show's conclusion, Tappert firmly put an end to the rumours in 2009. He cited legal obstacles that would make a movie starring Lawless and O'Connor as their iconic characters impossible. When Lawless was cast as Xena, she was a newly divorced single mother. By 1998, she had fallen in love with Tappert, and the two got married and had a couple of rugrats. Since the show, Lawless has appeared in several of her husband's later projects, including Spartacus and Ash vs. the Evil Dead. And there you have it, folks. You now know a little bit more about Xena Warrior Princess. If you enjoyed the video, which I presume you did as you got this far, hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss any future videos coming to Rocky Watches Movies. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.